Commander Fox is hated by most fans, and I somewhat understand why, but I don't really think that he did anything wrong. In this video, I will be defending Commander Fox's actions and explaining his death, so stay tuned. Yo, what's going on everybody, it's James, and today I'm gonna be explaining why Commander Fox did nothing wrong, and then I'll explain his death after the fall of the Republic. So if you want to know why people hate Fox, well, there's two main reasons. The first main reason takes us all the way back to the last 4 episodes of Season 5. I won't explain the whole thing, but basically, after the Jedi Temple is bombed, a woman named Letta Termon is accused of committing the crime. Workers, citizens, clones, and Jedi were all killed in this explosion, so it was a pretty big deal. Fast forward a bit, and Letta is being held in a prison cell under the watch of Commander Fox. After the clones can't get a response out of her, she says that she'll only talk to Ahsoka. When she goes to see Letta, she had to leave her lightsabers and communication device at the front desk with Commander Fox. And when Ahsoka goes to see her, Letta requests to talk to her alone, so all the others leave the room. Letta starts talking about how she was made to commit the crime by a Jedi, and right before she tells Ahsoka the name, she gets force choked to death. Given that Ahsoka was the only one in the room with her, and she can use the Force, Fox logically assumes that Ahsoka killed her. Then, she tries to explain to Fox that she didn't kill her, but Fox holds her to gunpoint and places her under arrest. Then, when Anakin tries to reason with Fox and see Ahsoka, Fox straight up denies him access, even after he demands to see her. Then, they force him out of the building. This is because he's following Tarkin's orders, and since clones died in the bombing, it's technically up to the military to make the rules. The fact that Fox denied access to a Jedi and wasn't even somewhat frightened shows what kind of a person he is. He was just doing his job, and he was doing it pretty well. Ahsoka later escapes and steals back her lightsabers, and then she gets framed for killing other clones in the building. Also, since they were killed by a lightsaber, it was pretty logical to think that Ahsoka killed them. Long story short, Ahsoka goes on the run and later works with Ventress and then gets caught by the Republic. When she goes on trial, she's found guilty and is no longer a Jedi and also has to serve life in prison. Then Anakin finds out that the actual criminal was Barriss, and Ahsoka is welcomed back into the Order. But in the end, Ahsoka feels betrayed and decides to leave them all, including Anakin. And you can imagine, considering Anakin's anger issues, he wasn't too happy with Fox, because he kinda started it. But I'm here to defend Fox. Because Fox didn't do anything wrong. It's his job to follow Tarkin's orders and keep the prison secure. And when a Jedi breaks out of prison and steals lightsabers, and then you see clones killed by lightsabers, what do you expect Fox to think? When he accused her of these crimes and called for backup to hunt her down, he was just doing his job. Fox found no joy in hurting Ahsoka or causing tension with the Jedi. He just did what he thought was right, and in my opinion, none of what happened was his fault. The next situation takes place in the first 4 episodes of Season 6, when Fives was on the run after finding out about the inhibitor chip conspiracy theory. Considering that Fives knew insanely top secret information that could ruin Palpatine's plans of Order 66, one of the Kaminoans drugged him, and then Palpatine tried to murder him. So at this point, Fives was going insane, and he was heavily intoxicated, so he contacted the few people that he could trust, Captain Rex and Anakin. When they arrived, Fives hid from them in a warehouse, and said that he would only reveal himself if they put down their weapons, so after some hesitation, they did. Fives was clearly crazy, so he trapped them both in a ray shield without their weapons, so they would be forced to listen to him. But when Fives tried to explain the story, they didn't believe him, which is understandable considering the state Fives was in. As Fives was trying to explain, Rex and Anakin called for backup from the Coruscant Guard, led by Commander Fox. And as they rushed in through the door with their guns aimed at Fives saw that the blasters Rex had were on the table. As Commander Fox screamed multiple times not to grab the guns, Fives decided to pick them up and aim it at him, and this is where Fox had to act. But hang on, let me break down the situation. From Fox's perspective, Anakin and Rex's lives were on the line and being held prisoners. Fox couldn't afford to let them be possibly killed when he could have stopped him. Also, he could see that Fives was clearly insane and aiming guns at him and his men. Fox had a responsibility to keep the other clones safe, and seeing what Fives was like at the moment, he would have definitely sent shots. So Fox had to act quick, given that there was a crazy guy keeping prisoners and endangering multiple very important lives, including his own, and he warned him and didn't listen. Fox did the logical thing and shot him straight in the chest. Seeing Rex have to watch his best friend die in his arms and lose insanely valuable information made Anakin extremely mad at Fox. But what was Fox supposed to do? In my opinion, Fox was just doing his job and he handled the situation very well. And if you ask me, it was Rex's and Anakin's fault for not telling them not to bring stun guns instead. To conclude my thoughts on these two situations of why people hate Fox, let me just say this. Fox wasn't a bad clone, he was just put in tough situations. And if you ask me, he handled all of those situations well, and he followed orders, and he kept his men safe. But Anakin didn't see it that way. So now we're gonna talk about Fox's death. Fast forward all the way to a little bit after Order 66 in Revenge of the Sith. By the way, this takes place in the Darth Vader comic Volume 10. Again, I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but basically after the first couple weeks of the start of the Empire, Vader wasn't properly introduced to all of the clones. And keep in mind, they still had orders to kill the Jedi. So, stupidly, Fox forgot to tell his men that Darth Vader was with them, so they mistake Vader for a Jedi and then they shot at him. And Vader wasn't all too happy with Fox, so he confronted him, and before Fox could even explain himself, Vader just broke his neck. The crazy thing is, Fox didn't even know that Vader was Anakin, but Vader surely remembered all of the times Fox made him mad, and this was kind of the final straw. Also, this is the first time I've actually seen Fox scared, but Vader was just like that. To wrap up the video, I'll say this. Fox wasn't a bad clone, he was just put into tough situations, and he followed orders even if they were tough. If you ask me, that's a good soldier, and just give the man a break. I mean, it was pretty rough. But yeah, that's about it. And just tell me what you think about Commander Fox. Do you like him? Do you hate him? Was he in the wrong in some of these situations? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know, but I can tell you that I got a lot of new content coming on the way. Bad Batch is dropping May the 4th, and yeah, it's just gonna be lit. So make sure to subscribe, hit post notifications, like, just anything. You know what I'm saying? Hit the little bell, and peace out. I'll see y'all later.